Joining me now to take a look at these developments is global affairs analyst Calvin Dark. Calvin, good to see you and thanks. Help us, if you can, what's the relation between the raiding of Zama Zamas in illegal mine locations and the rise in crime rate in South Africa?
Well, I think it definitely underscores a problem that South African authorities have to address. But I think, if we just take a step back and we think about, especially with the Zama Zamas, this is something that I know the government it's been on their plate to address, and many people have called them to address it. And with the rising crime, it shows that these people who put themselves in such precarious positions are under threat. And so I think this really underscores the danger of the illegal mining. And with the judge, it underscores the same kind of tones of there are really serious issues of the crime that need to be dealt with. But in particular, when it strikes at the judicial system, it not only obviously affects the judge's family and the community, but it affects the system, the confidence that people are having in the system that they can be protected and have justice. So I think it's a very serious, both incidents are very serious.
And Calvin, talking about the system, do you think the ANC-led government is doing enough to bring back, such kind of trust in handling of these crimes?
I don't think there's the confidence now that's necessary, but I do think that because of these situations and other recent situations, there is more of a push. And, I would hope that they would answer that call. But what I can definitely say is the pressure is definitely there. And people around the world, even here in the United States, we're hearing about this little by little, things we didn't hear about before. So that shows just how serious it is and the challenge that the ANC has.
And for the Zama Zamas, it looks a targeted attack. And perhaps we should stop talking about the modalities that should be put in place for those who are willing to return home.
Exactly. And that underscores another issue that we have to address, because the reason the Zama Zamas exist is because of their own economic situation and fleeing from other countries. And so this is a situation where we have to solve the crime problem, but also the migration problem. And I do think that if there's anything that can be loosened to address it, if that will help save lives and stop these dangerous situations, that definitely should be what happens.
Let's go back to the issue where we started off talking about the killing of the South African magistrate. It is concerning that a woman of her standing, a judicial officer, was easily murdered right in her home. One would expect that she, as a magistrate, would have some form of security detail. Calvin.
And she should, but this isn't a problem that's limited in South Africa. We had similar situations here with judges' families in the United States about a year ago. I was a female judge. Members of her family were killed in their home. I think this underscores not only that there's a crime problem, but that, she and other magistrates and other people who are entrusted of, protecting the system of justice have to be protected themselves, because it's not just their lives, but it's the system that is injured every time something like this happens, because people lose trust in the system. And intimidation does not work with justice. And so they've got to make sure that this doesn't continue.
Well, since it looks targeted, what more can you say? What should the government be doing in trying to arrest the situation? Because it doesn't look like something that is going out anytime soon.
Well, I think there are two parts. One is obviously fighting, tackling the crime problem and increasing protection. That's going forward, but also transparency now and getting to the bottom of, what the motive was, how this was able to happen. Because what can't happen is that these questions aren't answered, because that will multiply the distrust that people would naturally have when this happens with someone who's in charge of upholding the justice system. If they can't be protected, what would normal citizens in South Africa think about their own situation?
Calvin Dark, many thanks for your time as always.
Thank you.